Which one of the following is the best example of repeated faults in sea level giving rise to present-day extensive marshland? A. Bhitarkanika mangroves. B. Marakanam salt pans. C. Naubada swamp. D. Ran of Kutch. So if you have gone through the static portion of environment, if you have gone through the standard textbooks that I mentioned for static portion of environment, I'm sure you will be familiar with Ran of Kutch. Ran of Kutch is a pretty popular region. Environmentally, it is very important. I will go through the wiki page of Ran of Kutch just a moment. Like we will visit other options also, but yeah, you should be familiar with Ran of Kutch and you should be able to write the answer of this question as Ran of Kutch right away. So if there is also my point is there are other reasons why Ran of Kutch is important for particularly for this year. I'll show you why. And if you see the other options, Bhitarkanika is also Bhitarkanika mangroves are also famous. I was not familiar, to be frank. I was not very familiar with Marakanam salt pans and Naubada swamp, but these two places appeared in the current affairs news this year. So that's there. But even if you don't know these three options, you should be at least familiar with Ran of Kutch, and you should know that this Ran of Kutch fix the statements given in the question. So other thing you have to notice as an aspirant is the question says which is the best example of repeated faults. So given that is the question that they are asking for the best example, there is a good chance that there will be some confusion between options and some other option may fit somewhat to the definition given in the question. So you should keep that in mind. Whenever they ask for a best example, the answer would be a very obvious one, very famous, popular, or without any confusion, we could say this is clearly that answer. That kind of answer will be there for such questions whenever the question is framed in such a manner. That is the best example in such manner. Okay, and I have listed many sources. I will explain why I listed all these sources and why current affairs was very relevant as far as this question is concerned. Let me just, before going through the current affairs part, let me just go through the Ran of Kutch page once. So if you see, this is Great Ran of Kutch and this is Ran of Kutch. If you see, the first statement that is written is the Ran of Kutch is a large area of salt marshes. See, salt marshes that span the border between India and Pakistan. It is located mostly in the Kutch district of Indian state of Gujarat, with a minor portion extending in Sindh province of Pakistan. It is divided into Great Ran and Little Ran. So if you see, you can see the Kutch is this region. This is Ran of Kutch, and this is Lake Ran of Kutch. So if you you can read all these details. This entire page is important. Many rivers originating in Rajasthan and Gujarat flow into Ran of Kutch. This paragraph is very important. And the Great Ran of Kutch is larger portion of Ran. It extends east, west, Thar Desert. All these are important. As far as environment geography is concerned, this entire page is full of information that could be asked in the exam. So ecology, if you see, the Ran of Kutch is the only large flooded grassland zone in the Indo-Himalayan. So it is a flooded grassland zone. It is that information is here. And if you see Great Ran of Kutch, it even says about in its so if you just let me just go through to the relevant portion. The area was a vast shallow of the Arabian Sea until continuing geological uplift closed off the connection with the sea, creating a vast lake that was still navigable during the time of Alexander the Great. So the area was a vast shallow of the Arabian Sea. It's also mentioned. So you can there is enough information here to answer the question as Ran of Kutch. So you should have visited this wiki page, and you should be familiar with all these details. I could see another potential question coming for prelims connected to the Ran of Kutch. So yeah, that is important. Then let's go through the different current affairs sources. Salt flats around the world are covered in a similar pattern of ridges. Different salt flats of India was discussed in a news like this. So what are salt flats, how they are formed, explain. So salt flats, if you see the question, most of the options given are salt flats. So I am saying there is a reason why salt flats was important this year. Why probably there were news connected to salt flats this year. Then if you see G20 first tourism track meeting to be held in Ran of Kutch. So Ran of Kutch was in news for other reasons. The G20 meeting, the tourism track was held in Ran of Kutch. So Ran of Kutch was mentioned in the newspaper itself. So again, you should be giving importance to Ran of Kutch if a region is mentioned in the news. Then if you see this is a PIB news, salt pan owners and workers of Maracailam. So Maracailam salt pans was also mentioned in the options. So Maracailam was also Maracailam salt pan was also mentioned in news. If you see every current affairs sources I mentioned here is appeared on during that time frame we are preparing for prelims. That is like just after previous prelims and just before the current prelims. So that is the time frame that I am picking current affairs from that time frame. So yeah, Maracailam was in news. And then if you see Bhitarkaniga, first ever coastal Odisha. So Bhitarkaniga mangroves was also in news. See Odisha's Bhitarkaniga and West Bengal Sundarbans. So Bhitarkaniga was also in news. If you are not familiar Bhitarkaniga, so my point being, if your only logic to answer that question was eliminate all other options that is not towards the coastal region. So since the question is framed like that, the only chance for an option to be true is if it is near the coastal region, right? So as you can see, even Maracailam and even Odisha, this Bhitarkaniga are all near the coastal region. So it is very difficult to eliminate options like that. So also remember the question framed asked us to cite the best example. So you should be familiar with Ran of Kutch and how Ran of Kutch was formed, all that to answer the question. And again, Naubada swamp was also in news for a different reason, but now Naubada swamp was also in news in the Hindu. So I am picking only the Hindu news. Just remember that I am not asking you to read all current affairs sources. Just stick with the Hindu. And for an environment alone, just quickly go through down to earth also. And for government programs, PAB. So these three are the sources I am asking you to refer for prelims preparation: Hindu, down to earth, and PAB. In PAB you can pick up different government programs, schemes, their targets, goals, objectives, progress rate, all that can be picked up from PAB newses. So that is there. Priority should be to read Hindu alone, even if you are not getting time to refer down to earth and PAB. At least make sure that you cover Hindu thoroughly. Make notes from it for both prelims and mains. So these are the sources. I think you get the point. Like I am not spending more time on this question. So my point being, all the options were in news for different reasons. Ran of Kutch was in news. Ran of Kutch, you should be familiar with Ran of Kutch. Otherwise also it is, as far as environment is concerned, Rana of Kutch is very important region. There is a lot of information in the Rana of Kutch wiki page also. You can answer such questions from these sources. So yeah, that is question 5 for you. Then let's see the next question.